Ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, welcome back to another video. It's your average chess guy here. Thank you for tuning in. I have exciting news to share. Just a couple days ago, I had posted a video finally reaching 1500 for the first time. And days later, I can't believe it myself, but I made it to 1600. My rating is the highest it's ever been on chess.com. It's currently 1604. And I'm super excited. I've never been that high before. I felt like I accomplished something super fast because I was just 15 maybe a week ago, and then now I'm 1600, and it's just an amazing feeling. And I hope that I can continue and I can get to 1700 soon. It's going to be crazy. Oh my God. So today I actually want to share the game that got me to 1600 with you guys. So this is the game. I played someone from the US, Grendelane, whatever my opponent's name is. But so let me just take you through this game. So I played as white, and I played E4. You know, I'm an E4 player, so I play E4. He played the Coro-Kann. Now, immediately I'm excited because I play the Coro-Kann as black, so I know how the Coro-Kann works. So I took control of the center of the board. He did the usual Coro-Kann move, D5. I did the advanced variation, which is one of the best responses. That E5 pawn is nice because it's in the opponent territory, and then you get to essentially have control squares in the territory early with protection. You know, protection here. So then he developed bishop to f5, which is like a mainline Coro-Kann. I normally don't do that one. I normally push here with immediate ideas of them taking, messing up the center, blah, 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 stuff like that. But he did this. I developed my knight, putting more protection on my D pawn, my E5 pawn, and just developing in general. And the fact that he moved here with the bishop is perfect to move my knight here, so that in this case, if he wants to pin me, he would have to move again a second time, you know, losing development. So I just used that opportunity to get the knight out. That was just my thought process. All right, so E6, common stuff. Bishop to D3. I just figured I'd just trade off the bishops now, especially since all his pawns is on light squares. So it's gonna be difficult for my bishop to even move around on the light squares because he has all this. Like my bishop literally couldn't go anywhere here, and even if I get on this diagonal, I can't go here either. So I'll just be stuck over here, and my queen is in the way here. You know what I'm saying? So I just felt like it made sense to just trade it off because it's gonna be weak in the game, and I traded it off. His is gonna be weak also, so it was a good trade for both of us. And then I got my queen out. Then he pushed, and then in this case I pushed to C3, adding more protection to that D4. Then he took, so I took back. So now we keep control of the center. He has his own control of the center, and we're good. And I'm also ready to castle, and I still have 2 more pieces to actually develop. So bishop check, which was perfect. I love that he did that because what he did was, yes, he developed a piece, but in checking me, he allowed me to develop with tempo plus check, you know? So that's what I did. I blocked with the knight, and in this case, this bishop would be the better bishop. So if I can trade off the bishop for the knight, I'll be happy. But he didn't do that. Then he moved the knight to C6. I pushed. I thought this made sense. Telling the bishop what does he or she want to do. Do you want to take my knight and trade, and I get 3 pawns in the center? Or like, what are you trying to do? You know. So then he moved back. He decided to move back, and immediately, if you see the ELO bar, I'm up 1.1, so my position is better. So I attacked it again. B4. Now he has to move again. So what's happening here is I'm attacking while creating space from my side, and he's retreating. Like, he moved that bishop 3 times, literally. And then in this case, I think I castles. I guess I didn't. Wow, I thought I castled. I was trying to think if I remember, but castling would have been fine too, to just get to safety. But I just wanted to get rid of that bishop. because I felt like in this situation I have two knights. I just wanted to get rid of the bishop, so I'll have a bishop and a knight, you know. So I did that, and he developed, and I decided to take the bishop because I felt like taking the bishop. The pro about taking the bishop for your opponent is that he didn't take back with the pawn. I thought he was going to take back with the pawn and open up the rook, which I thought would have been good for him. Obviously the con about that is doubling up your pawns, but I guess in this case he didn't want to double up his pawn, so he just took with the queen, which made sense. But I'm happy. I got a bishop for a knight, and that was my goal. So then he did this, and then I'm also watching this because knowing my position, this is one of my weak spots. So he has an attacker here, he has an attacker here. I have a defender here, and I have a defender here. So we're equal. So no one should make a move. It's safe because this is practically my center that's controlling the center of the board. And essentially, once this is gone, I lose, my center, and then he gets past pawns. It's just a mess. So I'm making sure that it's protected. And in this case, I castle, because especially since the queen is over here now, it's like, you know what? Let's castle my king. My king is safe. He brings his knight out. I develop my bishop. Because him bringing his knight out here, he added an attacker. So now there's 3 attackers. So I had to make sure and equal that to defend. Then he castled, and then I brought a 4th attacker to the center because he knows that this is my weak spot. So I brought the 4th attacker not only to protect, but now that I have a 4th attacker, he has 3, I have 4. I can move around my queen to do more, instead of my queen being stuck along with the other pieces to defend, So that was my idea. This was not a bad move because he bought a rook to an open file. He just has to move the knight, figure stuff out. So then I moved my knight closer. I forgot what my idea was here, but yeah. And then he pushed, and then I ended up going right back. Oh. He finally took the bishop, which is good. And here I was trying to figure out, do I take with the queen or do I take with the pawn? I'm not too sure. But I think I took with the queen because I wanted to keep this together. Well, for one, if I took with the pawn, I feel like I would be doubling up my pawns. And then at least with the queen, I can go in here. Not to mention, my pawns is still okay. That was my thought process at least. He moved. I just took because, why not? Just trade pawns. Then I pushed. The reason why I pushed this is just so I can get a lift, just in case anything crazy happens. My king could escape. He moves. He's trying to reroute his knight, not to mention open up this rook. And then I tried to win a piece with ideas of taking and then like threatening the knight where the knight has to move. But then he moves the knight to attack my queen, so I had to move out of the way. I'm trying to get my queen in some type of position here that I can try to win. Then he goes there, which isn't good because now that my queen's protecting here, so it's good. So it's still a 2 on 2, but I just have to be careful because he might bring this down here or something. And, So then I moved this because I wanted to put pressure here. That might have been a bad move. I don't know. I lost like a whole... Like the elo just kind of went down, but my logic was just to push this out, and I did. And now I don't know what his move at G5. He said G5 was best. Oh, I see why. G5 with ideas of attacking this and moving it or something. Because anywhere I go, essentially with the queen, I'm going to get taken. So I guess the idea was just to trade queens because I'll end up going over here or something. Or over here. And then he would just take, and then I take here. So, I don't know. But he moved backwards. And then I started pushing. I said, you know what? Let me just get this pawn closer. I moved out. I started pushing. He moved back. I pushed here. With ideas of he takes, and then I take. But I forgot that I'm pinned here. So he took, and then I'm like, damn, because my queen is the only thing protecting this. So now I can't just go take it. He's going to take me. And then I guess I could take this, but then he's going to take here. And then I have to take here. And I didn't want to lose my queen yet because I felt like I'm so close to like trying to checkmate the king. So I moved forward first, which I'm not sure if that's a good move or not. It was. Okay. Okay. And then G6. He's trying to like bring a defender and to get in my way. And then I took the pawn. I feel like well, I don't know. According to the engine here, knight f5 was best. Don't know. But I took. Now I'm winning by what? 0.8. And then he moves, and now I'm winning by 1.1 up. Nope, 1. Now I'm winning by 1. So now I'm like, all right, cool. So then I decide this checkmate right here. So at this moment, I'm getting hyped because I'm like, am I going to win? Because literally I can go right here. And then how can he stop checkmate? I was like, how can he stop checkmate? It's over. So I went right there, and I'm like, it got to be checkmate, right? Because checkmate is coming right here. And this square, protected by the knight. And in my head, I'm like, the only way to get out of this was to do this. But I'm so used to the king being castled the way how it is, that I completely forgot that he can do this. He moved out of the way, giving space for the king. And I'm like, oh. So I still attacked him anyway. And then he went here. And then after this, I'm thinking, can I get this as a check or something? I couldn't get anything. He completely stopped me. Plus my knight is being attacked right now. And to defend it, I either push or bring the queen back involved. But then the only issue is that the queen is kind of stuck here now. And he has all of this. He has all of this. The queen. My king isn't that safe. You know what I'm saying? I can run around this pawn, but it's like, damn. So now I say, you know what? Here's a strategy. He has this nice little pawn structure here going through the center. So I figured, oh, perfect. Let me take this middle pawn, which automatically isolate. This is already isolated. Makes this an isolated pawn. And it kind of isolate this from these two. To where he then has to take me. And then when he takes me, now he has isolated pawns. And I still have 2 in the center. Plus I get to take the knight. So I just won a piece in that thingy, and I broke up that nice little chain that he had. And then now the king is more open. So that's what I did, and I'm up by 0.9. Then he took my pawn, no worries. I took his back. And now we're defending and attacking at the same time. Crazy. But I'm winning by 1.2. His king is vulnerable right now. Then he moves the rook. I check him. He moves to the side, and then I push. Now, this is a draw for pushing. I guess, according to this, maybe rook d1 was best. How did I not see that? Rook d1 is best because I can pressure the queen moves, and then I can take here. I can take with check, and, I win another pawn. And, but I didn't see that. I pushed. And for some reason, here he didn't take. And I'm like, why didn't he take? So all of a sudden, you see the elo. I thought he was going to take here. And then we open stuff up, and he didn't take. Instead, he took the pawn over here looking for like some sort of trade. I'm like, yo, I'm definitely going to trade now because I feel like I have a pawn all the way up here. 2 rooks helping on these nice diagonals. Nothing so far can even get to my king. I just move out the way, So I'm like, oh, word, I'll trade with you. And then here's where I was mad. When I was double checking this game, this rook could have simply just went to b7, take, and then the right thing for him to do is not trade. He will have to move out the way, and then I'll be able to simply push, and everything's good, especially since I have a rook right here. But for some strange reason, I pushed instead, giving him like room to just hide in the corner. Now, it still helps because now that rook can never move. You know what I'm saying? But it's still like, well, damn, I could have just won. But my idea was he goes in the corner. I take the pawn with ideas of later on my next move, checking him. He takes, then I take and win a queen. Well, promote to a queen. But instead, he does this instead. So now he's stopping me from getting my idea. And I'm like, damn. So now I figured I'd start moving my king up. And then I started like, since this is protecting right here, I decided to move this rook to try to get this pawn. Then he blocks. So then I said, you know what? I'm going to move my king close. And then he push, and then I take. With hopes that he would take back, but he didn't. Knowing that he's down 2 pieces. I thought he would have taken back though. But he knew it wasn't smart. Yeah, he knew it wasn't smart. So he moved to the side, and then I put my rook on d7. Then he checks me, and then I move over, attacking. Now he has to get out the way because he can't check me, otherwise I'll take him. And then I take the other G7 pawn. Now I'm attacking the king. I attack, I attack, I attack, I check. So pretty much I attack him, and he could have went here or here, but then he ended up going here. So I'm like, damn. So then I pretty much pinned him to the rook and then won a rook. And then here is essentially when, once I won the rook, that was it. My elo is 67, you know, and that's it. He lost, and he resigned right here. So, and this made me super excited because I've never been 1600. It's so crazy to say I'm a 1600 rated player. It's just so crazy. And just the other day, I beat a 1700 rated player. So there's an idea in my head that the fact I was able to beat him, maybe I'm also 1700, you know. And I'm progressing so fast because I was plateaued at 1400 since December. And then whatever I have to do with practicing and playing more games and seeing more different moves and learning different variations and lines and stuff like that, all of a sudden, I finally got to 1500. And that was just like 2 weeks ago. Like, I could even try to see if I can find it for you guys. Let me see. Let's see. 1600. Yeah, I was 1500 literally. Let's double check. I just got to 1500 literally. Yeah, look at this. Go back. Yeah, look, I was 1400 July 3rd. 1400, 14. Still 14. I got to 1500 July 9th. July 9th. So that was last month. So I was 1500 July 9th. And I stayed 1500 the whole time, which is one thing I knew that I was improving, because normally I would go back down to 1400, stay there for a little while, come back up, whatever. But for the first time, I stayed at 1500 the whole time. I got a lot of wins. Win. Got a lot of wins. And then, you know, all of a sudden, I'm 1600. So I was just 1500 last month. July 9th is when I became 1500. And then a month and some change later, I'm 1604. It's so crazy. So I'm proud of myself, and who knows? Maybe like it's gonna continue. I don't know where. I'm not sure if maybe I'm just at a level I'm really good. I'm just gonna keep rising from here, or am I gonna get to 1800 and then plateau again, where I have to learn more, or the level of the level of competition gets really good, where I have to like up my A game. I don't know. But I'm just going to keep going. I made my 1600. My goal is to not go back, but to stay at 1600 and keep winning games and hope that I can get to 1700 now. So I'm proud of myself. If you guys are watching, if you like to play chess, if you want to get better, it's possible, you know. So thank you so much, guys, for watching, and you know, me sharing my game with you guys of how I got to 1600. And don't forget, like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think. Tell me your thoughts. You know, give me advice if you got any advice of how I can get better, how I can study better. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much.